Hey friends, we are making a macrame ornament. This is the one that we're making today. So your kit will come with the wood base with that pretty snowflake in the center. It's got 14 slots here, so we've got 14 pieces of cording, all 15 inches long. Okay, for the project to complete it, you're going to need a pair of scissors and some sort of brush, comb, even a pet's brush works for this. And this is just to open up our cording and give us that nice soft edge. And mine needs a little comb, but anyways, that's what you're gonna need for the project. So let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do one of these crystals or petals, whatever you want to call them, and then I will speed it up to do the rest and then finish it off with you. Remember, this is a video, so pause, rewind, fast forward, however many times you need to see the process of those knots. The 3 knots that we're going to be using in this macrame ornament is a lark's head knot, a square knot, and a half hitch knot. Okay? All right, let's get started. So the first knot we're going to do is our lark's head knot, and this is a very common knot in macrame. You kind of use it in everything, and really it is used to attach your cording to your piece. So what we're going to do is fold our cording in half, so your ends meet here, you bring it back and you find your center. And we're going to give it a little pinch just to skinny that cording up, so I kind of hold it really tight here. And we're going to go in from the front of our base in our opening. I'm going to pull it through and open up the back. So I've got this opening here from the back, and I'm going to take my tails and push them through. And I'm going to tug on that. And as I'm tugging, you can, or as you're tugging it, you can use your finger or thumb to push that knot up and get it nice and tight. I also like to kind of seesaw it or rock it back and forth, and that helps to get a nice tight knot at the top. Okay, we're going to do that again. Oops. I'm going to grab my cording and put my ends together, find my center, my folded piece here. I'm going to squeeze it, skinny it up, push it through the opening, open up the back to create that loop. I'm going to take my tails, push them or put them through the loop, and then pull. Again, I'm in a rocking motion. Use your fingers to push that knot nice and tight up to the top. Okay. Okay, so now that we've got our pieces here, what we're going to do is a square knot. And a square knot uses all 4, and we're going to separate the 2 outer pieces. So these are our base pieces. We are not going to use these. We're going to build the knot around them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our left and we're going to create a 4 shape. So we're going to lay it on top of our base there. Then we're going to take our other side and we're going to go on top of the 4's tail. We're going to go under our bases. We're going to bring it up and loop it through that 4. Okay, so now both of our tails are coming out, and we're going to pull those up. Now the key for macrame, I think, is when you're doing your knots, especially like something where you have 2 tails, is to keep them even. Don't try and pull this one up Otherwise, it will cause all of your knots to come out of sync. You want to pull them both at the same time and just go slow. The other thing to keep in mind is you want to keep your tail or your base, excuse me, you want to keep your base nice and tight down too. As you're pulling up, your base will try and get twisted up inside your knot. And so every once in a while you want to pull your base strings down and nice and tight. Okay, so now that I'm up at the top here, one other thing is we can use our thumb to push that knot up even further and make it nice and tight. We can pull on our tails a little bit here and get it nice and tight up against our lark's head knot. Okay, so that's just one part of, that's the first step of a square knot. The other one is to do it in the opposite direction. So we're going to take our right tail and we're going to lay it on top of our base to create a P shape. Then we're going to take our left, lay it on top of the P's tail. So we're on top there. Then we're going to go under the bases, I should say. And then we're going to bring that and we're going to come up through the P. And then we're going to pull. So I hold my finger on my bases and I'm using this finger to kind of pull at the same time that I'm pulling this and then also holding this. Once you get a few of these knots done, you will start to have a process that makes it easier, or you'll start to have a technique on where you're holding and what works best for your fingers and hands and all of that. Okay, again, push it up with your finger, give it a little tug there, and there we go. That is a square knot. Okay. All right, so then the next knot we're doing is called a half hitch. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do a half hitch on these two and a half hitch on these two. So I'm going to kind of turn my ornament and focus just on these two pieces. All right, so this is going to be our base. This is what we're going to tie our knot around. So again, this is our base. This is our piece that kind of stays where it is, and we work around that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our tail and we're going to go under the base to create that P shape. Okay, then we're going to lift it up over the base and then come through the P. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of pause it right there so you can kind of see what that looks like. I went under, I came up over and through the P. Okay, so I'm going to hold my hand here or my finger on my ornament and then my thumb on the base to keep those nice and in place and tight. And then I'm going to take and pull my knot up. And as I'm pulling it, I'm also using my thumb to push it up to the top. Okay, let's do that again. I'm going to do it twice on each side. So we're going to create that P shape, or excuse me, goes under. So our tail is under the base. We're going to come up over the base and through the P, through that opening. And again, then I'm going to hold my ornament and my base in place while I pull on that tail, lifting and pushing that knot up to the top. And then that gives us that little offshoot of our little crystal. So we're going to do that on the opposite side. So now we're going to do it over here, and we're going to create that 4. We're going to go under, we're going to take our tail, go under the base. We're going to come up over the base and through the opening. Okay. And again, holding my ornament and my base here, I'm going to pull. And lift and push with my thumb. And do it again. Go under the tail or under the base. We're going to take and go up over the base and through the opening. And we're going to push, pull, and push that knot up in there. And there we go. So now, and there we go. And now we're going to do that all the way through. And then we will come back and clean up our ends. All right, now that we have all of our knots in, we can come back and trim off any excess. We're going to grab our scissors and give it a little haircut. So I am going about a thumb width away from my knot and trim the excess. Now that everything's cut, just going to lay it flat, and now we're going to brush out our tails. When you're cutting your tails, the only thing I want to say is don't cut them too short because your knot will unravel. All right, now we're going to take our brush and we're just going to comb out our tails for that fun last finishing touch.
I'm gonna do the shower. Raises eating.
Okay. All right, then once you've got your tails all combed out, you can do some more trimming. So I've got just a long guy right here. Trimming and shaping, and there we go. Now you have your snowflake macrame ornament. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy and happy crafting.